Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And as you could see, we got some more snow, and Harvey just isn't in the mood to play with this. So let's do an old-fashioned treasure hunt and work on a Honda Mini Trail 50. So here we have it. This is my Honda Z50A. So before anybody could begin a restoration project like this, you really have to ask, what do you want? What do you want to turn this into? I had one of these when I was a kid, almost 50 years ago, right? I bought it, paid like 25 bucks for it back then, right? Ran it for a while, got rid of it for 50. I couldn't keep it because my parents didn't want me to have it, and they were causing me quite a bit of trouble about it, so it kind of had to go. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do. Obviously, I'm missing quite a few parts, and I got quite a few problems. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with the handlebars yet. As I look at the headlight, I was kind of going through the Horde, and I ran into this thing. So that's kind of something I would have done as a kid. When I was a kid, this kind of gas tank was around all over the place. So, quite honestly, this is probably the kind of gas tank that would have been put on here one way or the other. About the engine, I would have figured out something. There probably would have landed a Tecumseh carburetor on here, right? I don't have the throttle slide, so there's really just not a lot you could do about that, right? You're just kind of messed up here. So once again, it probably would have been a Tecumseh carburetor on it. About the engine, I'll show you. I found some parts for that. But let's get back up to the gas tank. Now, obviously, I'm not going plastic gas tank, whether it's square or round. As I was going through my parts box, I ran across this gas tank. Now, you guys saw I had a couple of those little Yamaha 50s, ALT50s. One of them is complete, and the gas tank says Suzuki on it. This one obviously has a bunch of repairs. It was also in the box. So if you put it on here, right, it looks actually very similar to what should be on here. So I feel pretty good about that. And you could actually take this cap off and it'll go on the tank. I do not have a separate gas cap for it. It didn't come with a gas cap, and I don't want to take apart the ALT50 that's over on the shelf around the corner. So I have no seat. I mean, chances are I would have bent up some metal back then, right? Put a piece of wood across it and some foam. Luckily, there's such a thing as eBay now, and one could do better than that. So I found this seat on eBay, and it's actually the correct seat. Even the year of it is correct. But you could see it is mighty, mighty Krispy Kreme here. It is just a train wreck. What I'd love to do is ATV Seat Exchange lives up around the southern tier. I'd love to get up there, make a visit with him, bring this and some materials along, and maybe have him help me put a seat together. So let me show you what it looks like. So there we have it. It's actually starting to look halfway decent, right? Now, I kind of went through the Horde, and the Z50 that I had, the tail light was actually broken, and somehow or another I actually cobbed one of these on the back. Right, these are kind of period correct from back in the day. Right, this is a 1972. That's about when I would have had this. So anyway, that's probably going to go on the back. So grinding through the hoard, I mean, this could be kind of tapped straight, right? This could be straightened out. And here's a chain that will go on it. It's even rusty like it would have been back then. So I'm going to soak this in some kerosene and some oil, get it loosened up, and that'll give me the chain. While I was fishing about in another box, I found an engine cradle. I believe the engine cradle is from a Honda CT70. I don't remember mine having an engine cradle. As a matter of fact, I was looking at pictures of one, but I see the bolt is here, right, for the engine cradle, and these guys here actually bolt to the bottom of the engine. So I'm not quite sure about the engine cradle. Whether I haven't tried to find one. Maybe I'll find one. But like most of the stuff for this is crazy expensive. As an example, to get a reproduction gas tank, right? By the time, and you got a couple of choices, but let's say I get the one that should be on here, you know, with the repo insignias. By the time you get the postage, get through the postage and everything else, you're at $200. They have a chrome version, and I do remember the chrome version. I've seen these bikes with the chrome version at some of the car shows. That also is a repro. I don't think they ever made these with chrome. Somebody will correct me if they did, but I don't remember them with the chrome tank back in the day. But there's a chrome version, and once again, by the time you get it on here, by the valve and all the other trivia, you're still pushing $200, right? So you got to make a decision where you're going to go. A halfway decent seat is between $100 and $200, not $50 like I paid for this one. This kind of stuff in the back could easily be another couple of $100. The cover is the major part of $100. The headlight assembly, good luck finding one, but you know, sky's the limit. The handlebars are also between $100 and $200, depending on exactly what you put on here. So just running through the numbers, I'm trying to put it together reasonably and somewhat period correct for what I would have done back in the day. Let's get toward the motor now. So around the 1982-1983 time frame, I was collecting a load of CT70s, and I thought this was a CT70 motor. Back when I bought it, I thought it was for a CT70. But if you take a look right here, you'll see it says 49 cc's. Luckily, it came with a complete carburetor. It appears to be in really nice shape. The shifter is not welded. Right, it came with the correct exhaust system. It doesn't have the little extendo pipe sticking out of it like this one does, but it does come with the muffler. Right, the ignition's here, wiring, all that, and the Kickstarter is intact. Right, it's not stripped. I seem to remember the Kickstarter being shorter on these, right? And honestly, this engine may be off a scooter, one of those step-throughs. What did they call them? Passports back then? You know, kind of a gorilla looking scooter of sorts. Anyway, so I did pick up this engine back in the day, and once again, I remember it as a 50, it turns out, or I remember it as a 70, it turns out it's a 50. Luckily, I do have this. I have a cable here, right, the outer part of the cable. So, I mean, I don't know. The throttle is off of that, right? It does look like it has the centerpiece, the thing that slides back and forth across there. But it doesn't have the external grip. So there are still more parts to find. Let's keep digging. So I was just kind of looking at what I had, and I was looking around, and I noticed these parts up here covered in dust. So let's drag that down and see what we can find in there. So I got the box down without dying, which should be considered an accomplishment. And it looks like I have a partial headlight for a 250SX, ATC 250SX. So that's always good to find. Looks like a CT70 headlight, part of these guys. Right. That goes over the end like that. Hopefully there's two of these. One, no, there's only one. This is the throttle that actually goes on the handlebar there. Right. So as you turn this, somehow or another, it's actually supposed to move things along. Maybe it's not the right one. And just looks like sorted engine parts. Now you got to remember, back then, if I saw stuff like this at a flea market, whatever, I mean, typically back then a bin like this would have been $5. I would just buy it. I didn't even think about it. It'd be like, oh, I could afford $5 and I would buy this. So there you go. Now back to this. Okay, shifter. Looks like it's in good shape. The splines are there. The cover. Now there are a couple of these. Now I'm not sure which one belongs on here. I tend to think the one that's removable, that this is removable. See, this one is cast, or this one's removable. I think this one went on here so you could actually set the points. So that's a find. Sorry about the shadow. Timing chain. That's the output shaft. Some gears. We talked about that may or may not be correct. Right, cylinder head always handy up. No, this is, I think that's a 2-stroke carburetor. So they found the carburetor. Exhaust system. If I had to guess, it's for a 70. Gears. Ooh, a live headlight. And I believe, once again, I believe that's for a 70. We talked about that. Foot pegs. And it looks, they don't fold. This might be off a QA50. Another exhaust. Sorted nuts and bolts. Clutch to disengage the clutch. Foam. It would have been brand new back in the day. So I'm happy. I was after that cover and I found it. So what do I not have that I really kind of need? I really need some kind of air filter assembly. Obviously I could aftermarket it with the China, with, you know, those China things. I'm not quite sure what the wiring situation is. I don't have the battery box either. It doesn't look like. I do have the key switch, and it seems to work. Check that out. I saw a light bulb in there. I don't know if it's any good, but it looks like I have just about everything to put this together. And once again, I got to caution, right? I'm sure there are purists out there who would say, no, 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 you should pop for the tank, right? Get the seat redone, pop for the tail light, the headlight, right? Put new tires on it, on and on and on. I kind of back of the envelope took a look at the numbers. I can easily put $500 to $1,000 into this thing. And I really don't have that to invest. I can't throw that kind of money into it. I wish I could, but I can't. So I'm not going to weld to it. I'm not going to paint it. I'm not going to sand it. I am going to clean it up the best I can. I'm not going to throw away any parts. About the handlebars, I'm going to give myself a little bit of time to see if I can't fix these up. I'm pretty sure they're trash. The handlebars that go on the suspended tail, not the hardtail, they're a little bit more available and they're a little bit more reasonable. So I'm thinking they might end up on here. Though I'll see. I mean, if it's 20 or 30 or 40 bucks difference, I'll put the right ones on. But they're going to be reproduction either way. So really, what's it matter, right? They're not OEM specific. Back to it. I'm not going to weld to this. I'm not going to cut anything off of it. Even I'm going to leave the back fender. I'm going to try to straighten it out a little better than it is, right? To this guy here, I'm going to try not to alter that at all. I'm just going to try to bolt these right on. Right. I got to straighten out the license plate bracket. The headlight, once again, I might just put a light bulb in there and drive it around with the broken lens. That's kind of what I would have done in the day. Or if I can find a plastic lens, I might just take this bezel off, grind the lens to shape after changing the bulb, put the fake lens on there. That's probably as close as I could get to accurate. So now when anybody works on these, once again, there's a lot of people who have a lot to say. What's better, a reproduction tank or a Suzuki tank that looks and all that's well, the Suzuki tank is 12, 13 years newer, but kind of shape correct, right? The headlight. A lot of people would spend all their going out to dinner money to buy that, but I think I'll come up with something with that. The seat, right? This is a real OEM seat. It don't look so good after 50 years, but it is correct. I don't know. My childhood all-terrain vehicle. I'm gonna own it again. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's really taken me a lot of time to go through this hoard down here and come up with these parts. I found some other stuff. If you guys are interested, I could show it to you. Some other stuff I've actually been looking for, so I guess depending on how bad the weather is, you guys might get to see all that too. Anyway, I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day.